In rural Pakistan, a truck almost never breaks down in a convenient place. It usually stops exactly where the problem happens, on a narrow road, in a field, at the edge of a canal, sometimes right next to moving traffic. When that happens, nobody waits for a tow truck or a workshop. The repair starts right there, whether the location makes sense or not. In one situation, a decorated cargo truck is moving along a dirt road beside an irrigation canal. The road is narrow, the surface is uneven, and the truck is carrying a heavy load. At some point, the brakes fail completely. The driver loses control. The truck drifts toward the edge, and it rolls into the canal, landing on its side and settling into thick mud. Within minutes, people gather around the scene. Some are mechanics, some are drivers, and some are just passing by, but everyone seems ready to participate. It turns into a group effort where everyone watches closely, and a few people take charge. It feels less like an emergency response, and more like a public event, where the main attraction is a truck that clearly should not be there. Before any lifting can begin, the ground near the canal has to be stabilized. The soil is soft, and bringing heavy equipment too close could make the situation worse. A loader reshapes the edge by pushing dirt into a makeshift platform. It doesn't look particularly reliable, but it holds well enough for what comes next. A few mechanics climb down into the canal, not to pull the truck out yet, but to deal with the front wheels. They are twisted into a position that would make lifting unpredictable, so the mechanics push and force the steering back into something that looks usable. There are no measurements involved, just a shared understanding of what straight enough should be. A crane arrives and positions itself near the edge. Chains are attached to the underside of the truck, and a group of men adjusts their placement by hand, while one person signals the operator. The lift begins slowly, and the truck comes out of the mud with visible resistance. At one point, it shifts slightly, which causes everyone to step back at the same time, and then immediately step forward again once nothing collapses. After a careful lift, the truck is placed back onto the road. It is still damaged, but it is upright again, which is already considered a successful outcome. In another situation, a truck does not fall into anything. It simply leans under its own weight and then drops on one side because the structure underneath can no longer support the load. The front corner ends up close to the ground, and the entire vehicle looks uneven, as if it decided to sit down without asking anyone first. Before any repair work begins, part of the cargo has to be removed. Workers climb into the back and start unloading heavy bags one by one. It takes time and effort, and there is no shortcut. Watching it feels like a reminder that sometimes the most advanced solution available is still just carrying things by hand. Once enough weight is removed, attention shifts to the front of the truck. The damaged wheels are taken off from the outside, exposing the broken components without lifting the entire vehicle. The process looks unusual, because instead of fixing everything on the spot, the goal here is simply to make the truck move again in the simplest possible way. Another vehicle is brought in to pull the truck forward. With the front wheels removed, it moves slowly, riding on what remains at the front and rolling on the rear tires. It doesn't look comfortable, and it definitely wasn't part of the original design, but it works well enough to get the truck away from that spot. The truck is then moved toward the outskirts of town, where there is a bit more space to work. There, the rear wheels are replaced using jacks and basic tools, allowing the truck to sit properly again. The setup is still temporary, but it is stable enough for the next step. From there, the truck is driven further toward a repair shop. On a different road, a truck stops moving without any dramatic event. From the outside, it looks fine, but something underneath has failed in a way that prevents it from going any further. The truck is lifted at the rear using jacks, and the wheels are removed to access the problem. Parts are laid out directly on the ground, forming an improvised workspace that expands as the repair continues. A group of people stands nearby, watching closely, occasionally offering suggestions that may or may not be helpful. It has the atmosphere of a live demonstration, where the outcome matters more than the method. At some point, a replacement part arrives. It is large, heavy, and clearly important, but it shows up on a small three-wheeled vehicle that looks completely unsuited for carrying it. The contrast is noticeable enough that a few people stop what they are doing just to watch it arrive, as if the delivery itself is part of the process. The part is unloaded by hand and positioned carefully under the truck. The workers align it step by step, adjusting it until everything fits. They rebuild the system around it, tightening everything using long metal pipes for leverage. There are no power tools, just controlled force and repetition. After several hours, the truck is lowered and tested. It moves again, which is the only result anyone is aiming for. At night, the same kind of work continues on the side of a busy road. There are no streetlights, only headlights from passing vehicles, and a few portable lamps that create small circles of visibility in an otherwise dark environment. A truck stands with its rear lifted, supported by stacked materials that look improvised, but are arranged carefully. Traffic passes very close to the work area, sometimes slowing down just enough for drivers to observe what is happening before continuing on. The repair progresses steadily. Parts are removed, adjusted, and reinstalled. Tools are passed between workers without much discussion, and each person seems to know what to do next. It is the kind of coordination that does not require instructions, only experience. The work continues until the structure is stable again, and when the truck is lowered, it holds its position without shifting. That moment, more than anything else, signals that the job is complete. In another case, a truck carrying a large container loses balance on a paved road and rolls onto its side. The damage affects multiple areas at once, making the repair more complex from the start. A crane is used to bring the truck back upright, and once it is on its wheels again, the repair begins immediately. Parts are removed and either reshaped or replaced. Some are heated and adjusted on the ground, while others are brought in from nearby suppliers and installed directly on site. At one point, another large component arrives on a small vehicle, repeating the same pattern where the scale of the delivery does not match the size of the problem. It is a detail that seems unusual at first, but becomes normal after seeing it more than once. The truck remains surrounded by people, tools, and scattered parts for several hours. The process is steady and focused, and by the end, the vehicle is no longer in the condition it was in after the accident. It is able to move again, which is enough to return it to service. In a field near agricultural land, another truck lies on its side with a load of bricks scattered around it. The scene looks more like a construction site than a breakdown, with materials spread out in every direction. The truck is lifted back onto its wheels using a crane, and the repair continues on the ground. The damaged structure underneath is rebuilt, with parts aligned and secured back into place. The work is methodical, even though the environment is not controlled. At one point, the engine is opened, and several components are removed and placed directly on the road. They are cleaned by hand, checked, and reinstalled. It is unusual to see this level of engine work happening in an open field, but it follows the same principle as everything else. If it can be fixed here, it will be fixed here. Fluids are added, connections are tightened, and after some adjustments, the engine starts again. The sound alone confirms that the repair was successful. Not every failure involves a dramatic accident. Sometimes a truck simply carries more than it should for too long, and the structure underneath eventually gives in. In one example, a truck loaded with crushed stone stops because a major component fails under the weight. The cargo remains in place, which makes the repair more difficult. Instead of unloading everything, the workers decide to lift the rear, while the full load is still there. The setup involves jacks, wood, stones, and metal plates, all combined to support a weight that clearly exceeds what any single piece was designed for. It looks unstable from a distance, but up close, each part has been placed with a specific purpose. The damaged section is removed, and a replacement is brought in and positioned under the truck. The entire system is rebuilt while the load remains untouched. This approach saves time and avoids the need for additional transport, even though it increases the difficulty of the repair itself. When the work is complete, the truck moves again without ever being emptied, which is considered an efficient outcome. Across all of these situations, the details change, but the approach remains consistent. The truck stops wherever the failure occurs, and the people nearby become the repair crew. The environment becomes the workspace, whether that means a road, a canal, or an open field. Heavy equipment is used when available, and when it is not, the work continues with whatever is on hand. Some parts are replaced, some are repaired, and some are adjusted until they function again. The process depends on experience, coordination, and a clear understanding of what needs to be done first and what can wait. By the end of each situation, the truck rarely looks new. The exterior damage remains visible, and the decorative elements often show signs of what happened. What is restored is the ability to move, carry weight, and return to work. Once that is achieved, the truck goes back on the road, often with the same type of load and under the same conditions. And eventually, somewhere else, the same process begins again.